Hello guys. It's Bongi. Anyway, let's continue where we left. This is lesson number 6, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back to what we learned on lesson number 5. Lesson number 5, we discussed the MOSFET, and I said to you, the N-channel MOSFET I normally use for high current high, and again, P-channel MOSFETs are used for low current. Let's go to our example. I did an example saying in case of first and a second MOSFET, these are normally switches. They normally allowed in the 19 volts to jump on both sides and then go straight to a motherboard. So here you will need what? A P channel MOSFET. You won't need an N channel MOSFET. There's no need for you to use an N channel MOSFET. And again, keep in mind, if you replace this MOSFET with a P channel MOSFET, it won't work. Okay, it won't work at all. You will have to replace them with another P channel MOSFET. So now I'm sure it does make more sense. Let's go here. Since here we don't need so much current, right? According to this, they're saying N channel MOSFET is for what? It's for generating high current, and P channel MOSFET is for what? It's for low current. On the first and the second MOSFET, we don't need any current at all. We normally need that 1 amps or 2 amps or 3 amps or 4 or 5, but we don't need any amps. In a case where you need so much current, you will have to put what? An N channel MOSFET. I hope you understand the functions of the two. Let me show you. There we go. We have an N channel MOSFET. There we go. Alpha and Omega 7408. 8 is an even number, so it means it's an N channel MOSFET. We need more power here, more current here. As you can see, 5.5 amps if I'm not mistaken, or even more. But we need what? We need current of 5.5 to 6 amps. We need more current here to charge the battery, which the power rating is 1 watt. But again, we need more watts, we need more current on this side, so we have to use N channel MOSFETs. I hope you understand the difference between the use of N channel MOSFET and P channel MOSFET. All right. In a case where maybe you want to allow the 3.3 volts to jump on the other side and be 3.3 volts suspended, obviously you have to put what? You have to put a P channel MOSFET, because it's one MOSFET. It doesn't switch, it doesn't generate any current. You don't have to use an N channel MOSFET, but they put N channel MOSFET. Let's go here. In a case of a MOSFET that switches between the battery and the 19 volts, let's see, this is an Omega, and it's what? It's an P channel MOSFET 7. It's an even number. We check the last fourth number, of which is 7 in our case, so it means this is a P channel MOSFET, of which again it does make sense because I don't need any current here. It is only for switching between what? Between the battery and the charger, so no current is needed on this side. Okay, let's continue. We talked about PWM. I did explain everything, or watch my previous video. Let's continue. Okay, so this is how the coils look like. The coil is this thing, and MOSFETs are these things. Okay, MOSFET looks like this, and you will have a capacitor as well, and you have a diode. But some others don't have a diode because the diode is already there on the MOSFETs. Okay, this is a charging section, a chip that charges the battery. You will have ISL chip, you have maximum chip, you have TI chip, you will have Richtech chip, and you will have what? PQ chip. Depend on the chip that they use there. But anyway, let's continue. Let's pass by. There's the real thing. Okay, we have the 18 volts or 19 volts or 20 volts DC coming inside the motherboard. It's gonna pass through the first MOSFET, through the second MOSFET. Okay, keep in mind here, the charging chip is so smart. Okay, it needs to to detect AC in. There will be a chip, there will be a pin on the chip. I don't know which pin. Oh, it's simple. Let's go on this Lenovo. Remember, we have the Lenovo schematic open here. Let's see how the 19 volts is arranged, how it's separated here. This is the chip responsible for what? For charging the bed. Keep in mind. Let me zoom in. I mean, this is the other chip responsible for charging the battery. Right now, I'm gonna zoom in. Let's go ahead. So when you zoom in, okay, you have what? You have AC in. AC in is pin number 1. As you can see, it can detect what? The AC, what the AC is in or not through those current sensor, through the current sensor. No, this is not the AC in. No ways, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, I don't think so. ACN is the output of the current sensor. That's where you sense what you sense. That's where the chip senses the current. The current sensor is so important because it needs to know how much power the computer is withdrawing at that specific time. Need to know how much power the PC is using. So every chip needs to know how much power the computer is withdrawing. It needs some sort of a feedback to a current sensor with ACP and ACN. Let's go back to our charging section. We have the AC in, okay, after AC in, DC power chip. Okay, and again, we need what's AC. Okay, let me explain this. AC in is the power that will go through inside the chip. I can't find the AC in on this one. Okay, I can't find the AC in. Can't find the AC in on this one. I think it's AC. No, AC that is AC detect. Can't be this. It can't be this at all. But anyway, let's continue. We will have the signal AC in. AC in. What else? We will have. AC OK. AC OK is going out to allow this MOSFET to turn on. AC OK. It means AC is okay. Then the power can pass through. Signal coming out of the charging chip. We have CSSP. This is the current sensor, the inputs, and the CSSN. This is the current sensor output. Okay. All right, after that, guys. Okay, these are all the signals you should take note of. You will have AC present. AC present, this means it's more like AC okay. It means AC is there. It needs to report on the startup chip. Otherwise, the machine won't charge the battery. It won't even. I don't even think it will turn on. Okay, and the connection, the communication between the startup chip and the charging chip is called the SMC bus or SMC data. All right, and the charging LED is coming out of the startup chip. So if you don't get any charging LED and laptop is not charging, you should blame it to a startup chip, unless if there's something shorted somewhere on the motherboard. Right, and yeah, guys, there's more to learn. And again, startup chip communicates straight direct with the battery through SM data and SM clock. All the things that you should keep in mind. The charging chip is so important, and the charging chip controls the MOSFETs through the upper gate and the lower gate. And it is capable of what? Of charging the battery. Anyway, guys, this is it. Done. I'm tired. I want to see you on my next tutorial. Bye bye.